Right, here's the course over which Bradley Wiggins is going to be revving that oval ring today. 41.5 kilometres, starting out from one World Heritage Site at Arc-et-Senans and finishing in another Besancon. There's a little climb up to the first time check at Abon-Dessous, that's at 16.5 kilometres. And the second time check will be at 31.5 kilometres at Abon-Avenay. From there, the road hugs the banks of the Doubs before turning for home. It's a reasonably technical course as well, so it's not just one for the pure power riders. Mark Cavendish was the first British rider off. He wasn't putting out too much power, pottering round in a time of 1 hour and 7 seconds and saving his legs for the sprint stages to come. David Miller looked more determined in the start house and set off at a decent clip, but any chances he had of setting the best early time evaporated out on the course.
55.38. Happy? Not happy? Somewhere in between?
No, really unhappy. I was terrible out there. I knew from the beginning it was a very long 41 Ks when you know you're just going slow. So I didn't enjoy it.
So you went off faster and faded. Is that because you'd realised fairly early on it wasn't going to happen today? Yeah, when I realised I just didn't have the power, my head fell off a bit. Almost felt like just throwing in the towel completely and just taking it easy. But yeah, so it was very rarely do I have days like that, and so it wasn't fun. Pick your winner if you wouldn't mind.
I'm going to go for Fabian because he just looks awesome at the moment. But I'd say Wiggo and Froome, the Froome dog, are going to be close, and Cadell, those four. But I'd say Fabian will probably win. Tony Martin's going to surprise a few people, I think, as well, even with a broken wrist.
Yes, his team was reporting last night that Tony Martin couldn't hold his time trial position because of his injuries. But he set off fast and actually caught the man who'd started 2 minutes ahead of him, which unfortunately for his morale was Steve Cummings. Martin came in with the best early time of 53 minutes 40, with Cummings rolling in just behind him.
Yeah, I had bad luck again. I had a flat tire after 5 Ks.
Flat after 5K?
Yeah, again.
That's double bad luck for you, isn't it?
3 times bad luck.
Yeah.
Crashed into a flat tire, so
yeah.
I don't know why, but it's not my Tour de France.
So do you think this time will hold for a bit, or can you see it? Can you see the main guys later on beating you?
For sure, Cancellara and Wiggins will be faster.
Thanks, Tony.
Well, a good ride in the circumstances, and a decent prediction too, because as we join commentary, Fabian Cancellara is heading for home, having set the best split times at both the intermediate checks.
There in the distance is the 1 kilometre to go, and it's going to be a 52-minute ride by Fabian Cancellara, which will put him head and shoulders clear of the leaderboard.
Well, this man has had a brilliant start to the Tour. He won the opening prologue time trial in Liège, but that was over a much shorter distance, just 6 kilometres or 4 miles. Look at the way this man goes around the corners. I know you nearly fell off your seat there, Phil.
I did. I thought he was falling off.
He goes round these corners. He knows this course. It's as if he's got this course imprinted in his brain as he looks at the corners. He swings over to the left. Now he takes the right-hand sweeper. I have never seen, Phil, a bike rider on a time trial bike look quite so agile and comfortable as Fabian Cancellara.
He's all won, this man, and he'll be doing it all again in London in a couple of weeks' time to try and retain his Olympic title. But right now he's aiming for the best time here in the Tour de France, and he's got 51.57. It's going to be 52 something. He can see the finishing line. He slips up more gears and he kicks again. This man is a machine. He's driving towards the line now. It's clearly the best time. Will it survive the times we can expect from Cadel Evans and Bradley Wiggins? We will know in the next couple of hours. He kicks again for the line. 52.19, I think it stopped on there. 52.21.03, a massive beating.
A minute and 19 seconds faster than the champion of the world in the individual time trial. Yes, I know Tony Martin had a flat tyre, but he didn't lose a minute and 19 seconds with his time change, with his wheel change there, and that puts Fabian Cancellara right at the top of the leaderboard. That is the bar. He's thrown down the gauntlet to Wiggins, Evans, and the rest. We're looking at an average speed of this race so far, Phil, of just inside of 29 miles an hour average speed. And it's remarkable over a surface like this. Evans is taking all kinds of risks. He reckons that the best place for him is in the corners. If he can shave seconds on left and right, he can keep himself in contact with Bradley Wiggins.
I just feel as though Cadel is now holding the situation a little bit after initially losing. Maxime Montfort is heading down towards the finishing line at the moment, and he hits the line with the 6th best time and only conceding a minute 18 to Fabian Cancellara. The next man hasn't yet arrived at the second check, and that is Vincenzo Nibali. Could be an interesting ride there.
Well, he's riding a solid individual time trial. Vincenzo Nibali started the year off very well with a win in Tirreno Adriatico, and then he went on a preparation for the month of July and the Tour de France. It's not surprising to see all these signs at the road here. This is Chris Froome, Phil, coming up to the finish line.
This is going to be sensational, Paul. Chris Froome has held his speed all the way round. Fabian Cancellara thought he'd ridden well enough to win this. Well, it looks as though it could change. Froome can now see the times on the board, and a sprint from this man, and he's going to land a great time here. 52.21 is Cancellara. Chris Froome over this last third of the race has flown today. Is he going to break the 52-minute barrier? Final lunge to the line. As he comes up, he might just get inside 52 minutes. What a performance by Chris Froome. This is a bonus for Team Sky. 51.59.59. That's inside 52 minutes. Wiggins goes through with the best time at 39 minutes and 2 seconds, which has put him now. Cadel Evans is 1 minute and 19 seconds behind Wiggins on course.
Well, I was expecting a loss of about 60 seconds for Cadel Evans here, but he seems to have got himself into a rhythm, and he's matching these riders. He was a minute and 2 seconds behind Wiggins at the first check. He's lost a little bit in the second check because he went through there 1 minute and 19 seconds down.
Well, he's continuing to pull away from his teammate Chris Froome, who holds best time at the finish, as Evans has lost plus 119, Peter Velez plus 123, and Vincenzo Nibali has lost even more. He's lost 1 minute and 28 on course. Back with Bradley Wiggins now. Hasn't made any mistakes, hasn't panicked. He's locked solid on that bike. Just his legs doing all of the work.
Well, I did the quick calculation there, Phil. Cadel Evans needs to finish inside of 53 minutes and 21 seconds, which is the time of the 5th best rider on the race so far, Peter Velez, if he wants to hold on to his second place in the overall standings this evening.
We're seeing Denny Menchov also coming through towards the finish now.
Well, Menchov battled with his machine out on the course. He's the champion of Russia in the individual time trial, former winner of the Vuelta a España, and a dark horse to get onto the podium in this year's Tour de France, because I think he's brought his best game for many, many years to the Tour this year.
Well, let's see. He was 12th fastest time at the previous check. Has he increased or held on to that? In theory, he should be about 10th or 11th when he hits the line here. But Claude, and he's done a tremendous ride, Menchov. Over that last few kilometres, he really did pull out something special.
Well, Cadel Evans needs to rival that sort of time if he wants to hold on to second place in the overall standings tonight.
We are now looking at Bradley Wiggins under 5 kilometres or 3 miles to the finish. He set the best times at all the checks along the way. Is he going to confirm himself as not just the stage winner, but also an increase in the race leadership?
I think the crowds here, Phil, in France this afternoon know they are witnessing a very special individual time trial. Let's not forget this race finishes off with a 51-kilometre time trial. The time trial length we're looking at here this afternoon between Arc-et-Senans and Besancon is the same distance as the Olympic Games time trial in London a week after the end of the Tour de France.
Well, it's 1-on-1 here, there's no doubt about that. Bradley Wiggins, by the way, has never won a stage in the Tour de France, and that might all change today. He's gone head-to-head with Cadel Evans, and the gap is moving out to 2 minutes on Cadel Evans here. 1:43 the difference on the race day today. 53.21, Cadel Evans needs to get in there. Otherwise, Chris Froome will move up to second overall.
I reckon this is a good ride by Vincenzo Nibali, who's never been a great individual time trialist.
Aiming at the time of the Slovakian champion Peter Velez as he lines up for the finish, and Velez did 53.23. A good sprinting effort from Vincenzo Nibali of Italy, and he might just about pip Peter Velez here. He even goes to slip the gears up just one more as he pushes it towards the line. Velez's time is 53.23. It's going to be desperately close. Hits the line, and it's gone by, so it's still a little bit further. So Nibali just trying to keep himself in the race here, but his third place overall, I think that's gone anyway to Chris Froome.
Well, I'll tell you what, Phil, he's ridden solidly 11th, 10th, and then moved himself up to stop the clock there, just inside 6th place. So it's good for him. I think he'll be a man to watch out for, because he'll be aggressive once we get into the mountains. A 6th place finish.
They're all craning their necks over the barriers now as they shout on. The last two riders out on course. Last man is Bradley Wiggins. Cadel Evans, he's not racing now for the yellow jersey. He's actually racing to stay second overall in the Tour de France. He's got to be in 53 minutes and 21 seconds.
Well, you have to bear in mind when you talk about Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome, they finished in second and third place overall last year at the Vuelta a España. You know, the speed that this time trial is being run off is quite remarkable, almost 47 kilometers an hour average speed. That is phenomenal when you think of the terrain that they had in the early part of the event.
Well, that's about 29 miles an hour that he's riding at the moment. 1 kilometre to go now for Cadel Evans. As he heads in, his time there is 51.57. He's got a chance, Paul, of just about holding on to second place here.
It's going to be very, very close. The time I've calculated is Cadel Evans has to stop the clock in 53 minutes and 21 seconds if he wants to remain in second place overall. Otherwise, he's going to lose it to Christopher Froome.
It's too late to try and win the stage today. He'll live to fight in the mountains now. We're going alpine climbing in the Alps after the rest day tomorrow. He lines up to the finish. 53.21 is the time he's got to beat to leave for the mountains on Wednesday in second place in the Tour de France. He's looking at the clock. He's going to get it, Paul. He's going to hold on to second here, but he won't like the gaps to Bradley Wiggins when Wiggins comes home. Cadel Evans, the defending champion of the Tour de France, is still second in the Tour de France. He comes home as the clock goes through 53. Huge effort as his face drips in sweat. 53.05.
We're 53.07. He lost a couple of seconds just over the last moment, but you know, he has fought himself inside out. He's battled with his own body over the last third of this course field to keep himself in contact. He's limited his losses as best as he can against this man, the last man out on the road now, Bradley Wiggins, who has recorded the first best time at kilometre 16, 21.05. The next best time at kilometre 31, 39.02. The question is, what is he going to stop the clock at when he comes up to the finishing line?
Well, if anybody can ride the last kilometre in 1 minute, it is this man, Bradley Wiggins. 450 metres to go. He is going to ride to the line with his face a grimace of pain. It's his 6th Tour de France. He's never won a stage. It's all going to alter now as the crowd bring him on home to what will be the best time. Wiggins comes all the way home now. This is going to be the time of the day. The stage victory will be for him, his first ever in the Tour de France. He's in yellow, Paul. He's going to increase his lead tonight as he wins the stage.
Well, Bradley Wiggins had the advantage of starting last. He had the advantage of having a track pedigree and being the kind of rider who knows how to ride at 60 kilometres an hour. But look at that face as he looks across at the clock. He knows he's got the victory, but he keeps pumping it, Phil, all the way to the line because he knows this race is 3 weeks long and he wants as much time as possible. 35 seconds over his own teammate, a minute and 43 seconds faster than Cadel Evans.
So there in black and white, or rather white, grey and yellow, is a pretty historic stage result. Not just the first stage win of Bradley Wiggins' Tour career, but the first British one too in the history of the race. Chris Froome was 35 seconds behind Wiggins and 22 seconds faster than Fabien Cancellara. TJ Van Garderen turned in a brilliant performance to finish 4th. Sylvain Chavanel was 5th, and the defending champion 6th, as you heard, conceding a minute and 43 to the race leader. So to the podiums, TJ Van Garderen retakes the white jersey he first wore after the prologue in Liège with another great ride against the clock, and Cadel Evans is going to need him when the race returns to the mountains. Bradley Wiggins, having removed the yellow jersey in order to have it re-awarded to him, stepped out for the stage win. And this is what the stage win means for the race overall. It's still Wiggins and Evans first and second, but the gap, which was 10 seconds this morning, is now 1:53. Chris Froome is up to third, 14 seconds behind Evans, 2:07 behind his team leader. Vincenzo Nibali drops to fourth at 2:23. Denis Menchov fifth at 3:02.